follows the nature he has acquired from three modes. Can repression accomplish? Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform
Give them
of
the mic.
Krishna consciousness, he cannot get free from the influence of the modes of material nature, as it is confirmed by the Lord in the 7th chapter.
Verse number
Therefore,
33. Okay. Maybe just, yeah, how much purport is there? You can just read this purport.
Therefore, even for the most highly educated person on the mundane plane, it is. Can you scroll? It is impossible to get out of the entanglement of Maya simply by theoretical knowledge or by separating the soul from the body. There are many so called spiritualists who outwardly pose as advanced in the science, but inwardly or privately are completely under particular modes of nature which they are unable to surpass. Academically, one may be very learned, but because of his long association with material nature, he is in bondage. Krishna consciousness helps one to get out of the material entanglement, even though one may be engaged in his prescribed duties in terms of material existence. Therefore, without being fully in Krishna consciousness, one should not give up his occupational duties. No one should suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become so called yogi or transcendentalist artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and to try to attain Krishna consciousness under superior training. Thus, one may be freed from the clutches of Krishna's Maya.
So did we do this last time, this purport?
No.
Sorry? Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, sorry for some technical problems. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so the whole third chapter is called as Karma Yoga. Now verses 1 to 2 is Arjuna's confusion whether to fight or not. And verses 3 to 9, Krishna tells Arjuna, better you perform Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga means, is also we discussed, yeah? Without expectation of result, correct. So there are two types of karma yoga, Nishkama and Sakama. Anyone knows the difference?
One get attached to the result
Mm-hmm.
and its outcomes. That is
Sakama.
Sakama.
Okay.
And then Nishkam is basically you are detached from the. You are just doing it as
Result.
a duty.
Okay, good. But there's more. How does it? How is it different from Bhakti Yoga?
Yes, I can explain.
Okay.
So first comes the karma yoga. So yesterday you gave an example of one cook who comes and prepares gulab jams, and after us preparing gulab jams, he asks how was it. Like he generally wants, like, oh, you prepared very wonderful, very wonderful. So he likes to hear his own praise. So glories. It was sakam. Then there comes nishkama karma yoga. So what he will prepare, will do his best, but not us, because he has gone through his. Sometimes he will get praises, sometimes he will not. So he generally he prepares his duty, but not attached to the results of it. He will do his best, but not. And then comes bhakti yoga,
Nishkama is what? He's not attached to?
the results,
Well, what is he attached to?
doing the service.
Then Bhakti Yoga, doing service for Krishna.
Okay, then
What is the difference between Nishkama and Bhakti? Sakama is understood.
yeah. Therefore, he is attached to doing it, attached to doing the, but he is choosing by his own will. And then bhakti yoga, you said yesterday that he doesn't have whatever his instructs higher authority tells, it does that.
Okay, I can put it in simple words. Okay, whenever we perform any activity, there are two things. There is the activity in itself and the fruit of activity. That means, for example, if you take cooking, if you are a good cook, one may say, okay, Prabhu, I want to cook. But after cooking nice dish, with all enthusiasm, we are also eager to know how many people like the dish we cooked and how much appreciation we are getting for it. So that's the fruit of it. So people who are attached to both the appreciation what I get after cooking as well as the activity of cooking, and but it is done for Krishna, therefore is yoga. But if you're attached to fruit plus activity, sakama karma yoga. If you cut down the fruit, some people say I don't care for appreciation, but I just want to cook. So you give me any service, but it should be something to do with cooking. I cannot do any other service. So then he's attached to activity. That is nishkama karma yoga. He doesn't care for appreciation, but he still is attached to what activity he wants to perform. So that is nishkama. Bhakti yoga means whatever Krishna wants. Sometimes Krishna wants you to clean the temple. Sometimes he wants us to cook. Sometimes he wants us to do kirtan, whatever. So therefore, whatever Guru and Krishna wants, that is called as bhakti yoga. This is clear? So therefore, any attachment to fruit plus activity is sakama karma yoga. Activity alone is nishkama karma yoga. But detached from both, attached to Krishna's desire, Guru and Krishna's desire is bhakti yoga. So in the first two verses, Arjuna is asking Krishna, what should I do finally? Because you told me that to fight there was some miscommunication, misunderstanding from Arjuna's side. When Krishna said you should give up abominable work, in second chapter he says, avaram karma, you should give up avaram karma. Then Arjuna thinks, oh, fighting is abominable, so let me give up fighting. But towards the end of second chapter, Krishna is telling Arjuna, you should fight. So Arjuna is confused, should I fight or not? So then first from verse 3 to 9, Krishna is telling Arjuna that to work is better than to do renunciation, to renounce everything. Why is to act is better than renouncing? To give up everything?
No.
What no?
To renounce artificial is not good.
Why?
Because if you artificially renounce, then the old tendency might come, and then it will.
What is the old tendency?
Like sense gratification. Any
Sense gratification,
example
okay.
gave of Babaji's, who in one of the Bhagavad Gita class, you gave the example of Babaji, so artificially tried to renounce, but they couldn't do it because they have not taken the higher taste. You also quoted the verse of Vishaya Vinivartante.
Correct. How many of you understood this? Show me a confident raise of hand. Really understood. Okay, I'll just explain because only less than 50% raised hand. Okay, so what does it mean? Why is Krishna saying to act in this world is actually better than to renounce? For Arjuna, he's telling better. Don't renounce prematurely. Many people say that when we go to ISKCON, they say be a little careful because as soon as you go, they'll shave your head and make you wear saffron clothes. But you can tell them actually Krishna himself says not to do this. It can't be done prematurely. Why? Because as soon as externally you can change, but what are your internals? Is an individual renounced internally? That is more important. So if one is not renounced internally, if one still is hankering for sense enjoyment internally, even if I wear saffron clothes, as you have seen, especially in India and across the globe also, there are many dongi babas. In the daytime, they are doing some puja part, but nighttime they engage in illicit affairs. Isn't it? So therefore, Krishna is telling if you renounce prematurely, you will become a pretender. Outside, one is showing that I'm a great sadhu. Inside, he knows actually he is just acting. He himself is a victim of lust. So don't act, don't pretend. Rather, you perform your duty in this world. Don't prematurely renounce. It's very dangerous, isn't it? Like for example, the danger of not getting married is one can have multiple illicit connections. So therefore, you say get married to one wife. If you don't get married, a lot of risk is there. So similarly, if someone simply artificially takes up a saffron cloth, and he is not internally purified sufficiently, he has not developed attachment to Krishna, to stay away from opposite sex, to stay away from name, fame, adoration, then in saffron clothes he will succumb to lower callings from the heart, the misgivings, and that will set a very bad example. Today people don't really respect sadhus as they used to in the Vedic times. You know that? Because the sadhus there are certain sadhus, so-called quote-unquote sadhus, who have spoiled it for the rest of the sadhus. Isn't it? Like in India, you will find there are many people who just wear saffron cloth and go door to door and beg. It's a good business. Instead of thinking of a product and doing some proper earning, you just wear saffron cloth, people will give you money. So therefore, many people they want to stay as far as possible from the sadhus, quote unquote sadhus. So therefore, if the renounced order itself is not very exemplary, then the renounced order will not do its duty of helping the society come to the platform of spiritual understanding. I'll give you an example. Once upon a time, there was this great king called King Prithu. How many of you have heard King Prithu? Here, you have heard? Very few people. Okay, he is the empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Actually, he is Krishna himself. Plenary expansion. So when he came as King Prithu, at that time the earlier king was King Vena before him, and he was a very notorious king. He would destroy all the yajnas. When King Vena was small, in his play, if he would get defeated or if he would not like something, he would just kill the other person. This is just a matter of play. And as he grew up, he became even more demoniac, King Vena. So now this King Vena, he reversed. For example, he would award people who would go against the Brahmana, who would go against the Vedic regulations. And people who were Brahmanas, who were saintly, he would execute them. He would destroy all the yajnas. So like this, he increased the impiety in this world. At that time, the Brahmanas, they told him, please reform your ways, because this is not helping the society. The society is becoming very atheistic because the demons are being encouraged and the pious people are being subdued. So this is not very good for society. But he did not care. So in the Vedic time, everything is Raja Rishi. That means Brahmanas had higher control than the king. So the council of Brahmanas, they all came. They understood this fellow is not going to listen to us. So they held their Brahmagant of their Brahmin thread with their Brahminical power with one humkara. Humkara means and they uttered without uttering curse, just with the humkara, they immediately burnt him to ashes. But now there was another problem. What is the problem? No king. So again, now they were trying to understand how do we get the king? Oh, he was not burnt to ashes. His body was still there. So now they started churning. Srimad Bhagavatam explains they started taking. They have different technologies back then. So from the body, they were trying to get another personality. So they first tried to churn the body of King Vena, and they got sin personified, called Bahuka or something. That Bahuka came out and it ran away. Then they continued churning his body, and then from his thighs or somewhere it came King Prithu and Mother Archi, who are none other than Lakshmi Narayan. They came. So because of the notorious activities of King Vena at that time, Mother Earth, she had withdrawn all the resources. That means there were no rains, there were no minerals, no pearls, no nothing, no flowers, no fruits, no vegetables. Everything artificial. Something like where we are heading towards, or something what we are facing right now. Because more you exploit Mother Nature, more Mother Nature withdraws. Then we have to subsist on artificial things. So then what happened? Then King Prithu, he came, and King Prithu challenged Mother Earth. He said, I am Lord Vishnu himself. So if you do not give back the resources, then I will have to kill you. At that time, Mother Earth comes out and she begs forgiveness, and then she submits to King Prithu, and then she gives abundant amount of resources. So this King Prithu, he had done 99 Ashwamedha Yajna. You know what happens if you do 100 Ashwamedha Yajna? Sorry? You are qualified to take the position of Indra. So now when he was doing his 100th Ashwamedha Yajna, who became insecure? Indra became insecure. So that time King Indra descended. And Ashwamedha Yajna means horse sacrifice. What is horse sacrifice? You send out a horse. Of course, I'll not explain the entire yajna, but that horse has to be sacrificed in Ashwamedha yajna. But it's not any sacrifice that you just kill a horse. That horse, when it's sacrificed in this yajna, it immediately gets a human body. So it's like promotion for that living entity. So now when he was doing his 100th Ashwamedha yajna for the benefit of this world, at that time Indra, being insecure, immediately came and he stole the sacrificial horse. So he cannot do anything. That time Prithu ordered his son, go behind him and get the horse back. So the son went, chasing Indra. At that time Indra left the horse and ran away. So he brought the horse back. Again, as they sat down for yajna, again Indra came and stole the horse. Again he sent his son, and the son went behind him and got the horse back. Again, as they sat down, this time Indra came in form of a sadhu, wearing saffron clothes. So they thought a great sadhu has come. But that sadhu took the horse and ran away. So Indra in disguise. So it is said the Dongi sadhus, the tradition started from there. When Indra took up saffron clothes to misrepresent. From then it has become a business, wearing saffron clothes. And of course, when King Prithu sent his son to get back the horse, and Indra was not giving the horse back, the sadhu vesh. So Prithu said, you kill him. But his son said, how can I kill a sadhu? I know it's Indra, but he's in sadhu vesh, I cannot kill. That time King Prithu himself went behind Indra and say, who is Indra? Just like killing King Vena posed one problem of not having a king, killing King Indra will have another problem of not having king in the heavenly world. So then Brahma had to descend to settle this matter. And Brahma instructs whom? He instructs Prithu. Because Indra, he should have instructed Indra because Indra's mistake. Isn't it? But he instructed Prithu. Yeah, because Prithu was in some sane mind. He had some sanity. So he said that you be satisfied with 99. Because if you do the 100th one, you're making Indra insecure. And out of insecurity, all his bad qualities are coming out. So you be satisfied. So therefore, one of my teachers, he has a lecture named as when 99 is greater than 100. Isn't it? Because 99 Ashwamedha Yajna of Prithu proved to be greater because of Prithu's better Vaishnava qualities than Indra. At that time, looking at Prithu's, just imagine you're the person, right, in some sort of a feud, you and your friend, you're the one who is standing for Dharma and he is actually doing something nonsense. Say now the authority, or say your father comes or some senior comes and he tells you to keep quiet. Will you like it? Out of the two, you're right and he is wrong, and the person, your senior, is coming and telling you to keep quiet. You will not like it. You will rebel. Hey, why are you telling me to keep quiet? Tell this fellow. It's his mistake. But Prithu did not rebel because Brahma is a senior. And it's not easy. But Prithu was humble. And looking at this humility, Lord Vishnu descended on Garuda. And Lord Vishnu standing next to Garuda with his hand, he was just staring at Prithu. He was just thinking, who is this personality? And Prithu was thinking, why is the Supreme Lord staring at me? He's feeling embarrassed. But Lord Vishnu was just lost in the thought of Prithu. Because these Vaishnav qualities are not, these are so precious, they attract the heart of Vishnu. Amen. So I just narrated this pastime in short to highlight this, that when someone takes up sadhu vesh prematurely, this is what happens. One doesn't live up to the standard of a sadhu. Therefore, Krishna tells Arjuna, don't renounce prematurely. Don't simply say, I will run out of the battlefield and you'll become a sadhu. What will happen? You will go and take up sadhu vesh. Tomorrow, while begging, sadhus have to beg farms. If someone doesn't give you what you want, immediately you will take out your sword. Because you are Kshatriya by nature. Isn't it? So therefore, don't artificially, prematurely renounce. Like that he says. So therefore, the verse 3 to 9, what is Krishna explaining? Nishkama karma yoga. Don't worry about the result of the war. Just fight for me. That's Nishkama karma yoga. And then he says, okay Arjuna, even if you say you are qualified for renunciation. First aspect was, if you're not qualified for renunciation, you have to act in this world, perform work, duty. What if you say you are qualified for renunciation, still you continue to do your duty? Why? Can anyone say? We discussed a lot on this. And this is all just revision, by the way. Yeah. Very good. Because you will set the example in society. And he gives example of himself. He tells, see, I am not bound by any work. I am not bound by karma. But still I am performing my duties, household duties. Then he says the pure devotees like King Janaka, they are also not bound by anything. But still he is managing the kingdom affairs. He's managing his household affairs. Why? To set an example in society. Because whatever the great men do, the common man will follow. So therefore, 17 to 35, Krishna is explaining, even if you're qualified for renunciation, still you have to do your duty because people look up to you, Arjuna. Therefore, act in such a way that you are an example. So either either if you're whether you're qualified for renunciation or not, perform your duty, like that Krishna is telling. Because Krishna wants Arjuna to be the instrument in this war. So till now, this is what we have discussed, the Nishkama Karma Yoga. And then from 36, this is till 35 he talks about it. And 36 to 43, Krishna talks about how lust is a formidable enemy on the path of yoga. Why does he talk about this? Because Arjuna is thinking of himself. See, what is lust? Anyone knows what lust means? From them. Yeah? You raised hand? Oh no, okay.
Well, I can say something.
Yeah, please.
Lust is desire for something other than Krishna.
Okay, there's desire for something other than Krishna. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you. Yeah?
Anything that deviates us from our goal, from our
Okay.
path.
What if the goal is deviated? Then Krishna is, to practice Krishna consciousness would be lust.
Or maybe which deviates us to perform our prescribed duties.
Okay. Thank you.
Adamantly desiring for prohibited things.
Okay, adamant desire for prohibited things. Thank you. How about this definition of lust? Yeah.
Having enjoyership mentality.
Enjoyership mentality. That's what I was looking for. Actually, what deviates from our ultimate goal or from Krishna is that enjoying mentality. I mean, generally, what is lust? People understand what do they understand by lust? They think lust means attraction towards opposite sex is lust, or sensual attraction. But actually, lust means enjoying mentality, and that lust can come in any way. One can be lusty for food. One can be lusty for name and fame. This is all lust. So therefore, now from text 36 to 43, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna how lust is a formidable enemy on the path of yoga. So one should conquer lust by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Actually, it is the lust which removes focus from our path. Like someone said, deviates from our goal. So we'll go to text 36. So you can, in summary, you have understood till 35. You can read on your own. See, all of you, if you don't have a copy of Gita, you can just go to vedabase.io and read. And whatever we cover, if you read during the week, just take out 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If you just read and recall what we are studying, then next week you can connect better.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu, please tell.
So, not directly related to the treks we are doing, but on a broader level about placing someone repeatedly at a position where that person has frequently proven to be like mischievous, and despite that, like I'm talking about Indra, like in various occasions we see like Gautam Rishi, the case of that, then the case of this, like all these, there are multiple cases wherein some or other kind of mischief by sending some what do
Okay,
we call them?
I understood.
from
Repeated mischief of Indra. Then what is the question?
so no not re- what I'm saying is that why is someone like Indra not stripped of his position and responsibilities despite repeated mischief?
Okay. So Indra is a devotee of the Supreme Lord. May not be the pure devotee, but he's a mixed devotee. We are all mixed devotees actually. If Krishna doesn't give us chance, what is the hope for us? We also commit mistakes and Krishna is giving us chance. Actually, we have only heard of certain pastimes where Indra is doing some notorious activities. If you study the Vedas, Indra is glorified immensely. Too much, actually. So if you really want to understand the position of Indra and who this personality Indra is, you have to study the Vedas. You'll get to know. He's a highly respectable, it's a big position. You have to complete 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas to get the position of Indra. It's easy to become CEO of Google, the position of Indra. So it's a very high position. He's not an ordinary soul. Yeah.
Does that change in Kali Yuga?
What?
If a person does tapasya in Kali Yuga in a way that he doesn't have to do the 99 or 100 years.
For Indra position?
Yeah.
No, it is fixed.
It's
Kali Yuga Vasis, we cannot really compete for Indra's position. We're not qualified. Because Ashwamedha Yajna is banned in Kali Yuga. Like that. Isn't it? So therefore, we have to give Indra some break. We only heard the negative aspects of Indra. He has done many good things also. Okay, so we'll go to this verse, text number 36. Arjuna Uvacha Atha kena prayuktoyam Papam charati purushaha Anichan api vashneya Baladeva niyojitaha. Translation. Where's the mic?
Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly,
By what is one impelled to
by
sinful
sinful
acts?
even unwillingly, as if engaged by force?
Yeah, such an important question. That means sometimes we know what is good and what is bad. Though we know what is right and what is wrong, still we are forced to do what is wrong. Understood the question? Arjuna's important question. Arjuna's question is, Arjuna knows what is right. He knows I have to fight this war. And I know he also knows what is wrong. But still, he is forced to do what is wrong. Let us not say one is forced to do what is wrong. Why? He's asking Krishna. Why am I forced to do something I know is wrong, is not a good thing? People will shame me for it, but I can secretly do it. What is the reason for this? He's asking. Yeah. So in purport, Prabhupada first explains that actually the living entity is pure because he is part and parcel of the supreme pure. Living entity is also pure. It's completely free from any contamination. He has no relation with lust, anger, greed, pride, and illusion. But just as a raindrop after it falls on the ground gets contaminated and changes color, similarly, having come from spiritual world to material world, we have come in contact with the material moods. We have associated with the material world and its dirt. So we have acquired its dirt, the lust, anger, greed. So though it feels natural, it's actually not natural. What is natural? To serve is natural. Satchit Ananda is the nature of the soul. This is natural. But it is so covered over with so much of dirt that what is actually natural and original for our consciousness is lost. That's what he's saying. Prabhupada is saying in the purport. So therefore, Arjuna's question to Krishna is very sanguine. As to the perverted nature of the living entities, although living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, he is still forced to act. Sinful actions are not, however, impelled by the super soul within. Don't say Krishna is inspiring me to act in this way, but are due to another cause, as the Lord explains in the next verse. Are you ready? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenam Iha Vairinam. Someone with the mic, read.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of this world."
Yeah. So this push, despite our intelligence in the wrong direction, is because of this thing called as lust. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. Where does it come from? From the mode of passion. You know the three modes? We discussed in earlier class also briefly. What are the three modes? Okay, tamas, sattvic, and rajas. So more we interact and whatever we associate with, karanam guna sangosya sat asad yoni janmasu. That means we are constantly associating with modes. Like for example, if Sachin is a very angry person, I keep associating with him. When I deal with someone, I also deal in a very angry manner because I have actually associated with the modes. When you associate with people, what do you associate with? With their modes. That means if someone is lusty person, you also get his qualities. Someone is very passionate to earn name and fame, you also get his thing. Someone is very ambitious for achieving great achievements, you get his nature. Why? Because you associate with his modes, his contamination, you share his contamination, sharing the same disease. So therefore Krishna tells Arjuna, it is because of lust only born of passion. Continue, purport.
When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into
Rashtra, just
lust.
go and tell them keep quiet. Making so much noise.
In association with the mode of passion, or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust, as milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion, and illusion continues the material existence. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and other corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, is elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual
Yeah,
attachment.
attachment. So what is Prabhupada saying? How do you get lust? Sorry? Association of what?
People who are passionate.
Yes. When you associate with mode of passion, you get lust. So how do you overcome lust? Get spiritually or attached to spiritual personalities. Attached to their transcendental nature. So therefore, it is a prasanga majanam pasham atmano kavyo vidhu. Saesha sadhushu krito mokshadvaram apavratam. That means more we associate with the modes of this material world, sattva, rajas, or tamas, more we get bound by them. Like quicksand. More you are trying to fight with the quicksand, more it just engulfs you. So instead of getting attached to the modes of material nature, get attached to the sadhus. Saesha sadhushu krito. That means you get attached to sadhus. That means you get attached to Vaishnava qualities in them. Get attached to their Shuddha Sattva nature. Because you go to sadhus, what will they tell you? They will chant Hare Krishna, study the Bhagavad Gita, lead a clean life, lead a God-centered life. So get attached to those things. Then what happens? Moksha dvara apavratam. And the doors of liberation are wide open. So you associate with mode of passion, you get material qualities. Associate with spiritual people or spiritual nature, you get spiritual qualities. Material qualities will keep you in this material world. Spiritual qualities will take you to spiritual world. That's what Prabhupada is saying in this. So because of lack of time, we'll just go through the verses so that we'll understand how Krishna ends this chapter. And next time we will discuss further on. Oh, there's more to the purport. Next time we'll see. Dhume navriyate vanar यथादर्शो मलेन च यथोल्बेनावृतो गर्भस् तथा तेनेदमावृतम्. Translation.
Fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb. The living entity is similarly covered by the different degrees of this lust.
Yeah. So that means there are different degrees of lust. We'll discuss all this next time. This is like a trailer. आवृतं ज्ञानमेतेन ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणा कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूरेण नलेन च. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness becomes covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire.
This is the nature of lust. Lust means it's never satisfied. One can think, let me just eat one more gulab jamun, I'll be satisfied. Then you will feel like eating one more after that. That is lust. Indriyani mano buddhir asya dishthanamuchyate etair vimohayatyesha jnanamavritya dehinam.
The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders.
So where is lust? It's in one's own mind, one's own intelligence. See, intelligence can also become lusty. That means one can. Some people say, does God really exist? I don't think God exists. Why? If God exists, he has to put a full stop to his sense gratification plans, isn't it? So therefore, intelligence is being, devised, is changing, adjusting such a way that for him God should not exist. So he can do whatever he's doing, isn't it? That means lust is an intelligence. It's in the mind because the thoughts can be based on lust, and in the senses because senses go towards sense objects to enjoy them. Sorry. तस्मात् त्वम् इन्द्रियाण्यादौ नियम्य भरतर्षभ पापानं प्रजह्येनं ज्ञानविज्ञाननाशनम्. Yeah.
Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharats, in the beginning curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization.
Yeah. Regulation means what? Don't say from today onwards no sweet. Say from today onwards once a week sweet. No problem. Regulation. If you just cut down, Bhagavatam 11th canto explains, if you artificially stop the sense object, the fire to enjoy sense object increases more. It's an experiment. You can try it. Don't, whatever you're attached to, say for example eating sweets, don't do it for 2 months and just see what will happen after 2 months. You will eat the sweets in such a manner you will compensate for the last 2 months of fasting from sweets. Yeah, many of us have experience because we keep taking up some such tapasya. Yeah.
Wouldn't knowledge help remove that sort of fire?
Just knowledge will not help. So that we'll discuss next time. Knowledge alone is not sufficient. Transcendental knowledge and practice. Therefore, Krishna is saying regulation of senses.
Regulation
Yeah.
to nullification.
Yeah. So you regulate it, and as the mind gets purified, then it becomes easier and one gets detached. Like that. Like if someone is smoking 100 cigarettes a day, I don't know, is that possible? Is it okay? Thank you. So you don't tell him stop smoking, he'll not come to you again. He'll stop contacting you, but he'll not stop smoking. So you tell him instead of 100 cigarettes, come to 50 cigarettes a day. Then you say 20 cigarettes, then 1 cigarette a day, then alternate day cigarette, then once a week cigarette, once a month cigarette, once in 6 months, once a year. If you're doing once a year, just quit it. It's like that. Regulate, and cut down. But he says you have to cut down lust when it is at the bud stage. Nip it at the bud. If you allow it to grow roots, once it grows roots, it's very strong. That means to cut down lust will be painful. When it's bud, just nip it. That's what Krishna said in the previous one. And this section is so interesting, you cannot stop speaking about this one. You're also out of time. Okay, since Actually, I'm attached to reading Sanskrit, so we'll remove the Sanskrit. We'll just read the English, otherwise too much time will be taken. This is viewer in 42nd. Yeah. Read. Yeah.
The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the
Yeah. The last one.
Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty Anga, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust.
Yeah. So we'll go deeper into this in coming classes. On this section, a very vital section, especially for youths. Okay. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Please run to the Prasadam hall and come. You can bring your plates here in case you have any questions.